I don't want to talk.
Breaking Beige is the journey of three 30-something mums trying to figure out who the hell they are post-babies. We can't be the only ones who feel like this. Who the fuck are we now? Just a mamas wearing thin? We want more. Finding our strengths, ditching the activewear and washing our hair. This is the journey of how we will gain our self-worth back and inspire you to do the same. Break the beige. Be a hot bitch.
I don't want to talk.
Right, welcome everyone.
Hey!
Hi.
God, you look good with headphones, babes.
It's definitely weird, like hearing your voice in your ears.
Yeah.
It's nice though.
Is it?
We'll knock the table a little bit less now, I think.
Or yell, or laugh really loud.
Yeah.
Guys, we're up to episode 10.
Yeah.
Holy guys.
How did we get here?
Recap. It's wild.
Yeah.
What have we done?
What, in our episodes? Don't put me on the
Yeah.
spot. A lot.
Who Are We was our first.
Skin.
Second. Oh, yeah, we had
Skin.
Skin.
5.
Share Warmth. The one with Becca. Good God.
Yay.
So
Such
good.
a vibe.
So today, we're doing goals.
This has been really interesting. Quite a challenge to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Like trying to think about goals professionally and personally, but then also listening to the feedback, that
Yes.
people had was really, really interesting.
Mm.
So yeah, today we want to talk a little bit about like our personal and our professional goals, but also how to goal set. Gina's really, really good at this. I'm like,
Am I?
I'm
Yes.
a muddler.
Oh,
I'm just like, well, one day that'd be awesome, but
I'm
I
the
never
definition of muddling.
No, you're not. But I always, I got Renee this morning to like Google how to do like a measurable goal, and there's like an acronym that goes with it. So we'll talk about that as well. But do you want to start with ins and outs, guys?
Renee.
Okay. Okay, so my out today is wearing a bodysuit.
Oh my God.
Quite a wild little thing, isn't it?
Right up the veg.
Like, I'm so into bodysuits at the moment, but I have to deal with like just a full-time wedgie all the time. Like, do you just wear the bodysuit by itself, or do you put like some nice undies underneath and they end up all just rocking up your butt? Like, and then like Skims as well, you know, like you wear those and they seem super cute, but it takes so long to get them on, and then it's just admin for the whole night to like go to the toilet because it takes you like long to get them off and on. So
I know, people think you're taking a massive dump, but you're like, I'm just trying to get my jumpsuit off.
yeah, it's full admin.
But
so,
if I am having a dump, it's none of your business.
yeah, so like my full wedgie at the moment, but I'll take it for wearing my nice bodysuit.
Yeah,
That
it
is
does
my
look
out.
great.
Sacrifices were made.
That is it.
Guys,
And
do you ever wear G-strings?
Oh, okay. Interesting topic. I was talking to some of the girls at the gym about this because I was like, because I just wear normal undies under my tights. And you know how like everyone's like, oh, you know, I hate having the lines on my tights. And I'm like, we were just saying, because I know a couple of girls and they, like maybe most girls wear G-strings so that there's no line. And I'm like, how is that comfortable with that piece of string going up your ass when you're doing all those movements? And and I just think I would rather have people see my undie line than people see
like a bit of VPL versus
like then
right up
everything. I don't know, maybe
you can
that's
get
just
really
me.
comfy ones though. Like there's nice soft material.
Padding? What do you mean? Is there fluff installed? Like, how does that work?
But the undies that you get from like Cotton On, and they're seamless.
I've heard about these.
So I wear those with my gym tights. I used to be a big G-string girl before kids, but
you did.
Yeah.
I don't know, shit's changed down there.
So good.
It's like the G-string just doesn't feel good anymore.
Say no more.
Okay, I don't want to go into details about how it looks down there. It's perfectly fine, by the way.
Beautiful vagina.
And then my in today is pretty much what the reason behind this podcast and why we did it is the connection that we're having with everybody, but for me specifically is like friends that I don't get to see all the time, and messages that are coming out after a certain podcast, and I get these cool messages and it's just like a real cup filler.
Yeah.
So my good friend Kelly, who lives in Australia, messaged me and she said halfway through the gin chat, and man, it makes me miss you. We are so aligned on values, the way we parent, approach to work. I wish we were closer. Also love the Dr. Hibbert chat making its way in there. I miss you, Nizzle. Please come and fill my home with joy real soon. And I was just like, oh, I miss you.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
Kelly and I now we're like besties at high school, and then she moved to Australia. So we haven't parented together and we haven't had this friendship like on the day-to-day. But now with this, we're messaging every single week because she's like listening and giving her feedback, and it's like bringing us closer again. And
That's so nice.
it's a massive in for me this week.
Yeah.
That's
big tip.
mine.
That's awesome.
What about you, Gina?
All right, out. I'm fully doing a duplicate on something Kate said before as a in and an out.
Oh.
And it's not Lego, but it's Play-Doh.
Oh. In and out.
So great for the kids because it keeps them entertained.
Yeah.
Not great for the environment with all the plastic toys that come along with it and the
Yeah.
waste, but love it because it keeps them going and it's quite therapeutic to sit down and play with them. But also just out because it ends up on your clothes and they carry it
Shoved in
around
the
the house and
carpet.
Cohen puts it in his mouth and then he spits it out and it's gunk and it's just so that's a big in and out for me this week.
Great call.
So thank you, Kate, for letting
The
me
Play-Doh.
copy. And then another in is, I don't know, I feel like I'm having a great week. I'm just stoked with everybody in my life and stoked with all the cool opportunities and things going on. So
Yeah, cool.
just feeling really good and really hyped and really happy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Gina.
I love that.
And Kate's look today. I like her look today.
Oh, look. The safari suit. I'm full safari
Very
suit,
Angelina
guys.
Jolie.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm just going to do some digging in a cave
I
somewhere.
more mean like on one of her like missions in Africa or something.
Oh,
like I more mean that
true.
kind of vibe
I
with
think
some
we
combat
decided
boots.
I was Jennifer that way, not Angelina.
Yeah,
I'm the old school.
you choose.
My ends, I went and saw the Barbie movie.
Have you seen it?
Nah, me
Really,
neither.
really cool. I must admit, it wasn't like, I didn't come out of it and think like that's the best movie I've ever seen. But there was some real key parts of it that I was like, oh, this is aligning with me, you know, like there was, some really cool chat in it. And interesting to hear everybody else's feedback about that. I loved the sticker box, how it was like, yes, I've been, yes, I'm going to go. No, I'm not going. Oh, fuck off. I'll never fucking go. You know, like there was a few like, I'll never do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you should.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. We're going to go as a little BB
Yeah.
outing.
Yeah, I'm into it.
So yeah, I'll be interested to see what you guys think. Another in for me was this weekend was the first weekend that we didn't have rugby. Like
Bashers, rugby, right?
yeah, and Ted, yeah.
And Basher coaches Ted.
Yeah.
So it's quite time consuming.
Yeah, and I'm up for it. I think it's awesome, but it definitely does, you know, it drags. And I think for the stage that we're at in terms of like renovating and trying to suss gardens and developing this property 10 weeks or 12 weeks out, like the weekends is kind of gone. And so it's quite hard to stay on top of things there. It's kind of my real passion project at the moment. So, and also in is Bash coaching Ted. I thought that was wicked. Bash also played this season, and he just loves it. He just really enjoys it. He's still struggling with ribs that I think are broken, and he won't do anything about those, so he's not sleeping.
Bash or Teddy?
Bash, yeah. He's just...
You guys need to go get yourself sorted.
We just need a full-time GP
Just
in the
look
house,
after
babes.
Retrain.
It's bad. It is bad. I don't really have any outs this week. I think I'm trying to like retrain my brain to be a bit more positive and stop being such a arsehole all the time. So
Really not, but okay.
Your expectations of yourself to be perfectly positive all the time.
You can't. It's actually impossible.
Yeah.
You can't always be the cup filler.
Just got to enjoy it while you're feeling good, and when you're not feeling good, you just got to be like, "Oh, it's all right. We'll get through this, and I'll feel
I
good
hate
again."
you.
You can talk to me about it.
Go away. Cool. So outfits today. Obviously, Renee's got her bodysuit that's cutting right up her
Vaya.
My butt, just my butt. I'm wearing a cotton on bodysuit, and then I've got my Flo and Frankie pants on, and then I have some Moochie slides.
I love those slides.
So do I. I don't
really
wear them
good.
enough.
Yeah.
Waiting for it to like warm up so my toes aren't so freezing
Yeah.
that I can start wearing them again.
Yeah.
I did actually buy them for work, and I do find that I need to I guess just learn how to walk in them properly, but they're quite heavy
Yeah.
and clunky.
Platforms,
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I like them, but they're not super comfy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to walk in.
Like I'll have them. So
Sure, you can have them.
Platform Barbie. They look nice. They look really good.
yeah.
I'm just wearing a white tee, Jack and Mookie from Maiden, and 501s and Superga sneakers. Super basic.
Superga.
Basic gal.
Is that how you say that?
I don't know. Superga? I don't know. How do you say it?
I don't know, because I always say things
ask
really
Siri.
wrong.
Where's Siri at? Siri, what does a
find out.
potato do?
Maybe our listeners can tell us.
Yeah. I have. Oh, I have to stand.
Stand.
Look at this safari suit, guys.
It's so nice.
So, I went to the Crystal Cylinder sale. Sorry if you don't live here, but it was. Yeah, it was good. There's that was another in for me this week. I got to go shopping with Bash for a little morning.
Cute.
It's his birthday this week, and he just wanted some new gear. So
Shit, it's his birthday this week.
you
What
haven't-
day?
You
What
haven't
day?
missed it.
Oh, God, I
It's on
hate that.
Thursday. And that is another thing. I just cannot remember birthdays. I am the
Put them in your calendar. On your phone.
Calendar.
There's a calendar on my phone.
What
That
day
thing-
is it?
Mine runs my life. That's how I know what's going on always.
Yeah, I'm just super unorganized, and I just cannot remember dates. Like, I honestly cannot really remember my children's birthdays. I know that's really appalling.
Yes, you can. The week of.
Yeah, the week of, I'm like, it's this week. Something like that. Anyway, I got some pants from Crystal Cylinder during the week. Thank you, Freya. Shout out Freya.
It's awesome, eh?
She's a legend in there.
What brand are they?
Yeah.
Thrills.
Oh, yeah, great.
They're just like a woman's chino, quite oversized chino. I was kind of like to Bash this morning. He was like, those pants look cool. And I go, do I look like my dad from the 80s? Like they're a full pleat at the
Only
front.
if you put a sneaker on
Yeah,
with
I
them.
know,
Like
I
a
know.
full New Balance, like chunky sneaker.
Hard and like a top with like a fluoro yacht on it.
Yes.
And a fanny pack.
And I'll just grow my curls out a little bit at the neckline, you know.
Get a mullet.
Yeah, and then just a white tee and just a little cropped khaki
Where's that from?
Yeah.
overcoat. Yeah, you guys are vibing this today. This is
Yeah.
actually a hand-me-down for my sister. I don't even know what brand it is. I think it's a Muse Society or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Amuse.
a Muse Society.
Yeah, so
It's cool. Shout out.
anyway, right, guys, hit us with
Goals.
your personal goals. So how do you goal set,
Look
Renee?
at me. Well, this is a really interesting question for me because obviously I'm in business, and quite often we do, like we'll go to like a skin conference or have meetings and all that kind of stuff, and they in depth go through this kind of stuff. And I don't do any of it. Like I don't have a chart. I don't have like a goals board. I don't write things down. And I know you're going to laugh at this, but I'm really visual. I can't visualize how my lounge should look and what color I should paint it.
Kate can.
So Kate's like always tries to get me to do things, and she goes, just visualize it. I'm like, I can't visualize because it's just not my jam. But I can visualize myself when I want to do something. My most favorite time when I'm really in my own head is the time that you lay down before you go to sleep, and I close my eyes and I visualize what I want in my head.
Wow.
That's cool.
What do you mean, like?
So I don't know, like I've got an idea for something, and like I visualize it, and I visualize myself doing it, and then I make it happen from my brain.
I just hit a full like call back to something you said last night. And
Oh
I'm
my
applying
God,
to that.
stop.
And I'm not going to say any more, but I'm just fully like, she's like, I
Gina.
visualize it. I'm not saying any more. I'm just laughing about a moment, a private moment with the 3 or 4 of us.
You can make that stuff happen.
Let's not.
I love you. Carry on with your goals.
Yeah, so like even when I sit down with my staff and we kind of try and make goals and we have these discussions, more talking about it, actioning it, but I like to like visualize where I want to be. I don't write it down, it's just in my head. But you actually, your brain is so powerful.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a state of meditation. And I don't know, I was talking to a lady about this the other day and she was like, that's meditation when you visualize something and then you want to make that happen. But I don't know how to like write that down on paper.
So just to like while back, is it really specific? Like, are you like, I want a new car. I'm going to visualize myself walking into the car yard. I'm going to see a white truck. I'm going to
not step by step. I go straight to the, what I want.
Like I'm driving it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not like real specific, but it's just what I can see myself doing.
It's cool. It's like where you look is where you'll go. So
Yeah.
what you're focusing on is what you're going after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also really like if something comes up and I really want that, then not like I'll just get it, but like I'm quite like even with the salon, it wasn't a goal. It just was the right time and the right opportunity. And I was like, I need to make
Now
this
or never.
happen. Like when I bought the salon, it wasn't like a super smooth transition and I could have walked away at any time, but I just knew, right, we live in this small town. My kids are going to go to school here. I would love the fact that if I own a salon and my work is just like 2 steps around from the school, and I knew that would create a really good lifestyle for us, and it certainly has. So I could kind of see that happening and playing out. So I know that's not super helpful because that's just what I do. Recently I had, when I'm feeling quite muddled and like I haven't got my shit together, and I just found like I was on my phone so much and I was getting alerts and I would just delete them and then I'd forget stuff because it's always coming through on your phone. So I went and bought a physical diary that I haven't had since I ran my salon from home, where I would put all my clients in and writing stuff down.
Yeah.
But that's just things like,
Again, quite a visual tactic.
yeah. So like write things down, process them. But I'm also like, I don't just leave it when I've done it. I cross it out because it makes me feel better, or I'll put a tick. Like, like
satisfying.
Yeah, like I've done that, tick it off. So yeah, I just, for me, it's more visual. I definitely haven't until this morning Googled goal setting and write them down. And I also think too, when you put out, with me, especially with the business and the salon, if you're not, I don't know how to say this, if you're not really focused on like, I need to make lots of money and I need to do this, and you just genuinely do it because you love it, and I genuinely just want to really help people, then good things will just come back to you. When you're, like they say, what you put out there, you get back.
Yeah.
You be kind and you show that you actually genuinely do want to help people. Good things just come back your way.
Yeah.
That's not kind of on goal setting, but that's kind of my ethos with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think, what you say about, things happening for a reason, you're kind of at crossroads all the time, that you could be like, I'm going to take that opportunity, or I'm going to walk away from that. That might completely change your trajectory of like what you're going to do in your life. But that's a good thing. That's what's supposed to happen. That's quite an interesting way of looking at it. So you don't really like forward plan in terms of like 5 years time we want to be here, 10 years time we want to be here.
Absolutely not.
Wow.
Like never. I've
Really?
never, ever done that. A big personal goal for me with our family is that I still want to travel a lot. Like I still want to, I want to travel with my kids if we have the means to. That's really important to me to like teach them culture, and I'd rather like take them out of school, and I would rather go and do like a $10,000 trip than paint my house. you know, like
Dying.
having those like opportunities and doing those with the kids and spending like that when they're young. Like I've got all the years, I'll leave home and I'm like, right, okay, cool. I'll paint the house because it's cracking everywhere. Like I actually despise spending money on the house. I hate it, which is total opposite to you. I would rather, my goals for our family is that I want to take them on trips. And
I agree with that. I've got definitely travel goals for the fam.
Yeah, and travel with them, like do something outrageous, because it actually frightens me when I think about this, because I still in my head am 18. And when I'm like,
Your bodysuit up your bum says yes otherwise.
absolutely not. But like when I'm like, holy shit, my decisions and Hoy's decisions and things that we decide in our life now sets us up forever and like affects our children, and that is up to us now.
Yeah.
And I still get real overwhelmed by that. Like it's up to me what happens to these kids.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
What you do influences their future.
Definitely.
It's terrifying.
Like I honestly, so we did this last night actually. I saw it on a program. I was like, hypothetically, what if we did this? I was like, what if we just rented our house out and moved to Australia for a year? Like, why not? You know, not just Australia. Sorry.
We coming?
You know, like,
Are we thinking August, September?
Yeah. what day?
We're all packed, ready to go.
but making these big decisions and having these discussions and seeing if like this is something that we're all interested in.
Yeah.
And just putting it out there to the universe and seeing if it happens.
I said this to Bash the other day. I saw this article about how there was this like amazing farm in like on the coast of Ireland, really like way away from everything, like
Bash's dream.
very, very remote. And it was like, we just can't, it was like this big article about how they would provide all this stuff, and it was a really amazing opportunity, but nobody wanted to go and work there as a farmer. And I was just like chewed on it all day, like absolutely like obsessed about it. And then that night me and Bash were just watching Yellowstone or something, and I was like, do you love farming? He's like,
I can see where this is going.
And he's like, he always knows. He's like, fuck's sakes, what's she seen today? And I'm like, I just saw this like amazing opportunity on the coast of Ireland. Should we just go? And he's like, yeah. Okay. And then he's like, he fully now is just at the point where he's like, he'll discuss it with me to make me feel like I'm a valid person, but he's also like, should we just have a cup of tea? Like, let's just, yeah.
Is this series not challenging you enough, Kate?
But I just, I'm like, you're like always looking for like cool opportunities that would like be amazing for the kids. Yeah, and I just think I probably thought I'd be braver in life. Like I probably thought we would just go, like get up and go and move and do stuff and just take opportunities and crack on. You know, you always like grow up probably thinking, I'm just going to be a hit in New York one day.
Yeah, that was me.
You know?
I would never thought that I would gonna come back to Taranaki ever.
No.
Like when I was 18, I'm like, I'm out and I'm not coming back. I'm glad that I have, and we've got this awesome life, but I definitely imagined myself living overseas.
Yeah.
I guess
What about
that's
you?
a big
and
testament.
you've done it, right? So
But I was going to say, I guess that's a big testament to the life that you've created here.
yeah.
And like you know, you can just say, oh, I thought I'd just, we'd just pack up and go, but you've created this really amazing life here as well, and
we're
it's
happy.
hard to leave those things behind. But
Yeah.
we're the same. Like I'll say to Sam, should we just go and like move to Bali or something for however long we could run
12
our
months.
business from
Yeah.
there, and like it's cheaper to live there, cost of living's way better, and
good weather.
100% beautiful. Kids can
happy
hang
all
out
the
in the
time.
pool. Like I'll just take them to the beach, and obviously there's pros and cons to doing something like that. But yes, Sam does the same thing. He's like, yeah, okay, I have to get a blood test every month to monitor my blood clotting disorder. Remember? And I was like, yeah, true. He's like,
He's got needles.
Have you researched hospitals? And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
get back to work.
Handbrake.
But no, I think goals are an interesting one. The only time I've ever really, you always have those things at school or, you know, something where
A
they make you
conference.
set goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, a conference that makes you, you know, and you're like, oh, this is confrontational. Because it really challenges you to think about what you actually really want and what's a priority to you, I think. But the one time I have actually set goals, and I don't have any 5, 10, 15-year goals, but the one time that I did do it was when I lived in Canada, and I was in a job for a company called Kit and Ace, which was started from the founders of Lululemon. He started this other company, Kit and Ace, but they were really big on goal setting and and knowing where you're going kind of thing. And I wrote these goals down, and they were sort of like, you know, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and I wrote them down, and they were like, make them really specific. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, we'll be living in Sam and I will be living in New Zealand. We'll be married probably. I think the later goal was like, we'll have 4 kids. This is before I had even had one kid yet. So I'm just like ready for my reality
change,
check.
yeah.
I was like 4 kids, 2 dogs. We would have built a house. And then, you know, blah, blah, blah. And all but, you know, we've got 2 kids, not 4, and I think we're done there, and 1 dog, not 2. And building a house is in our kind of, you know, future goals. So it's really funny because I remember thinking, God, I wrote this stuff down, and I looked back on that email that I sent to myself about my goals, and they actually have mostly kind of come true. But I think it also goes back to visualization. Like, I've always had this, you know, if you really want something, you can get it.
Yeah.
And I've always had that. And I think I was going to say to you, you've got such good self-belief, you know. We talk about body images last week, and we talk about kind of our insecurities, but I think having that self-belief in you helps you really drive forward in what you want in life. And you've got that, and so do you.
Yeah, you're real good at that.
Oh, thank you. I think
you're
it's
just a fucking boss bitch.
I think like
Just
both
make it
my
happen.
parents are like,
Positive
credit to
influences.
that, you know, like just go out and
make
get
it
it.
happen.
Just
and
get on
make
with it.
happen.
Yeah.
And like I can't imagine now, don't hold me to this in case something happens, but I can't imagine going to work for someone else now. I love being my own boss. It has its challenges, but I really, really enjoy it.
I think you grow out of being managed, eh?
Yeah.
What about you, Kate?
Yeah,
What's
so
your goals?
personal goals. So we start there.
Yeah,
Or do you
so
want to go for
probably-
professional?
Yeah.
We're kind of going into professional, but
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Professional goals for me. This is a trick because I've always thought that I would retrain and do something else.
We talk about that heaps, you and I.
Yeah. And there's one core thing that I always come back to, which is being a neonatal nurse.
You would be amazing at that.
Yeah, I think it's a hard one to explain, but after being in there with Poppy, and I just felt like if there was somebody that was my nurse that had been through it, it would have been really, really helpful. So yeah, that's probably something long term that I would love to do.
cool.
And also I feel like it would fill my cup with like wanting more babies and not having them. Like I could just hold babies all day and just like,
And you've got that empathy and the
Be a lover.
compassion in you, which is so strong as well. which you need.
yeah. And I've talked to Bash heaps about this. I would have loved to have been like a paramedic, and I've done lots of ride-alongs with the paramedics. I was in the fire brigade, and I was always, I loved the times where it was like I just had to comfort somebody, or like somebody had been in a really bad accident and I was just like in their face, like, we're taking care of you. We've got you, you know, like that. That's a cup filler for me. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So
I would love if I was like in a car accident lying on the road if you were in my face.
yeah.
Like I
Me
would be
too.
like, yeah, she would be my person. I'd be like, it's going to be okay. Because
She'd have
Kate's
her-
telling me.
Her haircut at hairdressing scissors, and she'd be like, I've got you, I'll just take care of your hair, and then we've got the morphine coming.
I am really keen to not do any more interior design projects.
Oh,
Except for me.
and me.
Guys, I'm trying to visualize a world without your job.
I need a coffee table soon. And I also need my own house designed. Okay, cool. Thanks, babe.
No, that's good putting that out there because it's something that you're so good at, so you keep getting business with it.
Yeah, and it's just getting harder and harder and harder. I'm enjoying it less and less. So I'm like
taking the passion away from it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty savage with that sort of stuff in my life. Like I may not know entirely what direction I'm going, but I know what I need to cut.
Yeah.
So I'm really like,
that's
I'm
important.
done with that and that can move on. And I started a business a few years ago. It was around the time when I got married and it was called Set and Flora. This was a wedding-based business, kind of a styling business for weddings. I did table settings, like had hundreds of thousands of different plates and napkins and all sorts of stuff, and people would come to me and I would help them plan their day and get a theme and get it all sorted. That was amazing. I loved the creative outlet of it. I loved helping people, especially in that, because it's a stressful time. It's a stressful time and you just need to rely on that one person to like suss your day. Loved that. But then there was like, it took up every weekend in the summer. Like every weekend I was like, sorry Bash, I've got like 3 weddings this weekend, and then I'd spend my whole week washing filthy plates and napkins and soaking napkins, and I was like, well, this ain't the dream. So I sold it and it was awesome. I built it up for 2 years. My mum helped me all the time. Like it was amazing. But yeah, I was like, this doesn't work. So I sold it, paid for a new kitchen. That was great in the old house.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm pretty savage. Like I'm just like, if it ain't working, we cut it and we move on. Yeah. There's like no regret in my heart about those things.
You know when you know.
Yeah, I know when I know. So I'm just like, boom, done.
Yeah.
But that's what makes me nervous about choosing something else to study, or like I have mulled on this neonatal nurse thing for literally like 10 years because I'm like, if I start studying, is it the right time? Am I going to want to do that? Because I change my mind. Like I change my bodysuit.
I can relate to so much of what you're saying. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. Like I think it's okay to not know what you want to do. Bash is so solid in his career. He's just like, this is my path. This is what I'm doing. Goes to work every day, susses it. He's the man. But I'm like, my brain, like I've come to learn, my brain doesn't work like that. My brain's like, I could do this and this and this and this, and then over there, and then I'm over there. And that's fine. Like, yeah, now I know that's okay.
Can you do that again?
Love that dance.
So good.
It's like a Space Jam move. So yeah, and we've got pretty big plans for Breaking Beige, so that's really cool too. And I think this is fun because it's challenging us creatively, but it's not, we don't have to, like I don't have to choose a tap for someone. There's no pressure on like which tile.
Except the 2 clients that remain. We're like, right?
Yeah. So yeah, but I think, I like what you're saying about visualization and especially, you know, writing things down and then going back and rechecking. I think that's a really cool thing because you often surprise yourself as to what you have actually manifested.
Yeah.
And I think too, like I had this really interesting conversation with one of my staff members who was 26 years old and like wise beyond her years. And in between clients, and we're making beds, and she said, what do you reckon your purpose in life is? And I was like,
oh God, new anxiety, guys.
I was like, I've never, ever thought, what is my purpose? Ever. Hasn't even come across my mind. I was like, I don't know, what's yours? And so she's a beauty therapist, but she's also studying full time to become a social worker. And she just said, I've been put here to help people. And if I stick with that and align with my values and follow that journey, I'll be provided for. I was like, whoa, it's so deep. And it made me really think of it, of like why, whether you think this is a thing or not, but what is your purpose, which also goes with what are your values, what do you align with?
What are your goals? Yeah.
What are your goals? And it goes through with that, you know, like really, really interesting chat. And I was like, girl, you are so clever.
Yeah, wise. Did you figure out your purpose in the end?
Nope.
to wear bodysuits. Best desired to my best of my ability.
Yeah.
I was like, mine is yours. Like, I definitely get what she's saying. Like, it's a real cup filler in my job, and as a mother, as a sister, as a daughter, as a wife, when I make other people feel good.
Yeah.
And this is the same as you. Like, that is a feel good. Yeah. Like, going right back to like birthdays and Christmas, I would way rather give someone a gift and see their face and see if they like it than receive it, because then I'm really awkward.
Oh my God, I'm so awkward receiving a gift. I'm like, oh, thanks.
I hope it's not a tap.
I kind of want a tap. Cool. So in terms of like what we Googled this morning, Renee, so
yes,
to set a goal, it says it needs to be, so this is an acronym for SMART. So
SMART
it says it
goals.
needs to be specific. So obviously, like, I would need a new laptop, for example. Measurable. So I want this laptop and I want it by this date.
Mm-hmm.
Achievable. Like, yeah, it's achievable. I can get a laptop, right?
Yes.
Relevant. Yeah, need the laptop, like for work or whatever it is. And then a time frame on that. So I want it by like yesterday.
Yeah. I was like, I want it now.
Yeah. So I think that's like, yeah, and this is very conferencey. Like, I feel like I've learnt this in about 18 different conferences over the years, you know, when I'm sweating like balls in a bloody conference room and there's no fresh air and I've had 18 coffees. But I'm like, it does work. And I think the main thing around it is like the time frame for me. I'm like, I can be like, yeah, we want to do that, especially with stuff on the house. I'm like, cool. Yeah, we want to wrap a big veranda around this. We want to pull out there. We want to do this. We want to do that. But to put a time frame on it is a really important thing, because and I think you're a bit like this in terms of having stuff to work towards and like, you know,
look forward to. Like, I'm a big, my mum reminds me of this, like, she's like, not everyone has things to look forward to. I need that. Like, I desperately need it in my day-to-day life. Like, I feel so bogged under sometimes that I'm like, why am I doing this? What is this for? Yeah. And it goes back to like travel, which is quite important to me. Like, I've just booked a trip to Melbourne because it's my friend's 40th in January, and I was just feeling really overwhelmed and lots was going on, and I said to Hoy, so, you know, like how I said I wanted to go to Melbourne, and he was like, have you booked it? And I'm like, no, well, I haven't put my credit card details in yet, but it's happening.
But it's all up here.
You know, so like, but like working towards that and making those goals and making them happen, and prioritizing stuff as well. Yeah. I find that's like really important, and I'd like to have not for this, but have time frames to do that
work
kind
towards.
of stuff. Yeah. What about you?
I liked what you said earlier about getting like the way a job would make you feel and the way achieving a goal would make you feel, and what's that called, like what incentivizes you?
Yeah, I think for me, like from a professional goal perspective, I've always been, like, I think I've said in a previous episode that I used to say to Mum, I want to be a courier driver and a lawyer and a this and a that. And, you know, I talked to you guys quite a bit about muddling through life and, just sort of going with what feels good. And I think I've never really been, and I've never been a person, and like I have heaps of family and friends who are driven by climbing to the top of a corporate ladder. And I'm so proud of all of them and what they've achieved, and like when everyone's cups are filled up by different things, right? But for me, I've never been concerned about what my job title is, or, you know, my next progression in my career is that I'm going to be the manager of this or the, whatever. So I think for me, it's always been really like tuning into my intuition and my gut on things. And the amount of jobs that I've gone for, like I had a career in real estate for a few years, saved up heaps of money, went traveling, came back. The Naki was too small for me. Applied for a job in Auckland. You needed a degree. I didn't have a degree. You needed this, that, and everything else, and experience. I didn't have any of that in digital marketing. They flew me up for an interview, and they were like, great, you're for us. You'll learn this stuff. And like the boss that I had there.
That is such a cool tip.
That was cool.
Anyway,
just
guys.
Go. And I think for me, that aligned me with this incredible boss, James Butcher, and
out.
he was just an incredible leader. And I think it taught me so much about, like, if ever I were a leader of anything, like, I want to be like this guy, because he was like, look, guys, we're not curing cancer here. We're putting ads on the internet, but, you know, we're a team, we're a family. Let's have a good time and do it to the absolute best of our abilities. And in that role, you know, like I said, you had to have these qualifications and this experience. I had none of that. And then within the first year of me being there, because I just wanted to push and prove myself and, you know, show that I can do all this stuff without having to have all those things.
Yeah. You're full underdog.
And I got, they gave me the Values Award, the first ever Values Award for the organisation, which was adhering to our values, which were like brave, humble, give a shit, and something else. And I won that award for the work that I'd done within that year. And I was like, cool, like, gave me a little bit of like confidence and courage. And then I, you know, from there was no real progression, or I just felt like I was getting a bit stale there. So I went for another job, and that job was outdoor advertising, like an accounts manager. So it was a step up, money was better, you know, needed a degree, didn't have a degree, went for it. But I think all these things have kind of like got me ready and got me experienced and made me go through things and learn things for everywhere that, you know, even when we started aviation, I was like, oh, I know how to do this stuff because I've learned from back there. Or like this new opportunity for us, I'm like, oh, I can do this because I've learned heaps here. I've learned heaps from Breaking Beige. And so for me, it's always been about, doing what feels really good. And I think the minute it's something, you really, if you're really deeply questioning something, I think for me, that's the moment to let it go.
Okay.
And so I'm a big gut instinct. I like to be challenged. I like to be in a good team. If I'm around good people, I'm already there. Like if I'm invested in the people I'm around and I know what our purpose is and why we're doing what we're doing, I'm really big on that. That was a really long-winded answer. Sorry.
No, but I get it's all good
that's
stuff.
valid. Yeah.
I always think you're never dealt anything you can't handle.
Yeah.
And I believe this wholeheartedly after what we went through with Poppy. And I just think we watch people crumble, relationships crumble, people crumble, you know, and me and Bash stayed strong, but that's just continued to grow and grow and grow. But I feel like it's a choice. You can get a good, you know, like go for a job, do it. Just do it, even if you don't have the qualifications. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen?
Someone
That's
will say
amazing.
no, and that's fine too, because you'll learn from that. You know?
You're given the job, so you've been dealt it. It's because you can handle it.
Yeah.
Like you're not dealt anything you can't handle.
And then I think we've all got a bit of that imposter syndrome in us as well, where we're like, oh, you know, like if you ever get overwhelmed or it's the wrong time of the month and you're like, God, is this, oh, fuck. But I think that's what really makes you grow as well.
Yeah.
You have to lift and you have to push and you're invested in people and you have to.
And people are invested in you.
Exactly.
But also learning from, like, I was resignated with when you said that you like had a boss and that's not how you wanted to be. And that's definitely, like, I've come, like, my first job ever, and this lady was incredible. She was so driven. She was such a good businesswoman, but she was really erratic. And so as a brand new beauty therapist at 17 years old, I was frightened of her. I was so scared of her.
Unpredictable, eh?
Yeah, and I honestly think that's a thing of the past now too. Like, I always treat my staff how I would like to be treated, and I try and do that in life in general.
Yeah.
And so I always knew that's not the kind of boss that I want to be. I want to be someone that's a little bit more approachable. So that was like a goal, to be a better boss, and knowing that, because I had been through that and I never wanted to be made feel like that again, you know?
Yeah.
I think that
some
happens
shitty
with,
bosses,
with parenting and friendships. Like it happens in all walks of life too.
Totally.
You see something yuck, you're like, red flag.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you guys, off topic, what is gaslighting?
I don't know how to explain this.
Do you? I feel like you're getting comfortable to explain it.
I just don't get it. Like I've Googled it. I just don't get it. I just think it's so funny after this like latest maths situation. I didn't even watch it.
Maths either.
Like everything I saw coming through, every meme, everything was like, it's just gaslighting. And I was like, I just don't get what
I think it's what, to apologise if this is wrong, but it's always like putting somebody down to make someone else look better. So you're you're insulting someone to make yourself look better.
Yeah, and
I think it's more than that.
I think it's like
there's another layer.
I think gaslighting is more like I could
Sorry.
say something. Nah, it's along the
Google
same
it.
lines though. But I think it's along the lines of like I might say something to you, and then we might go away, and then you might come back and say, "Oh, you know how you said that thing about this?" And I'll be like, "I never said that, Kate." And then you feel like you're a little bit crazy. Is that what gaslighting is?
So it's gaslighting.
Where are our personal goals?
Like dictionary is manipulate someone using psychological methods into questioning their own sanity or powers of reasoning.
I know. Do you get that?
Manipulative.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Oh, okay, let's move on. Professional goal.
So your professional goal is to learn how to gaslight.
Do not gaslight.
Gina, I never told you to order that tap. That's the wrong tap. No, you're out of your mind. That's not what I said. What are your personal goals, Kate? What are you after in life?
It's hard. Some of my personal goals are like really not measurable. So I feel like
What do you mean by not measurable?
Well, I want to be more present.
Yeah, I think that's a great goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like quite hard to measure.
Oh yes, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if you
So it's just
every
like something
day?
I'll be conscious of.
What if you every day? Like, do you mean more present, like with your children or family?
just more present.
I don't know
What if
how
every
you
day
can be
you
more
set a
present than
time?
what you are?
Yeah.
Because you're fantastic.
Oh, thanks, babes.
Put
But
a
I
reminder on
get
your
quite,
phone.
I get quite caught up. Like if, work or whatever, I just get like consumed by it, and then I realize that the kids have been playing outside for an hour, and I don't actually know where they are.
That's just
Great parenting.
normal parenting.
I think that's how our parents raised us. I didn't know where we were for hours on the back of the farm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You could set a timer every day when you know you'll have your family, and just a reminder. Like
Yeah.
even if you set it for 5 minutes and you
Yeah.
build on that, or 2 minutes,
I think in this, it's a hard one. In this world, it's very like need an answer, and it's any time of the day or night.
Yeah.
You're contactable 24/7
Yeah.
now. Like it's actually not. They're like,
It's not
I've called
healthy,
you,
eh?
but then I text you and you didn't answer, so I contacted you on Facebook, but I've sent you an Instagram message, and I'm just like, oh my God, I put my phone down for like literally an hour and I have a squillion messages.
Yeah.
So it is a harder thing to manage in this day and time.
Yeah.
Is being present in the moment. I fully resonate with that. I think everybody can work on that. Like you go and sit at a cafe or an airport, and everyone's just like this. And that's my time where I love to people watch.
Oi, the airport is the best people.
I
watching
literally
too.
put my
It's
phone
like
down
a
on
whole
purpose.
episode of Love Actually, like a whole
Beautiful
watching
way.
the movie.
I just
Love it.
purposely put my phone down and I look around and nobody's making eye contact with me. I'm like, hey, how you doing?
They're like, she's going to bomb the plane for sure. Look at her enthusiasm.
This chick's got a knife.
She's
in
a
her
psycho.
G-string,
She's
eh?
not on her phone. She's
got a lighter
Or in a G-string. I mean.
Sorry, we'll go back to your
Getting
your personal
sidetracked,
goals.
guys.
No, that's all good. Do you know, and the reason that I said that is because yesterday there's like some road workers at the end of our road, and there was, how like road workers, they're like one extreme or the other. So they're either like, and like
guy was
zero.
That guy coming up here and he's like,
the guy up the hill, and he's like, yeah, to like every
and
person.
he's got this
"Woo,
mask on.
woo." And I fully like drove up, both hands off the steering wheel. I was like, kids wave. And I was like, shut up. Because I was like, you legend. Like, come in.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool.
Be there.
Yeah, we've driven past them like 4 times and I said to the kids, we picked them up, I was like, put your window down and wave to this guy and tell him to have a great day.
Yeah.
And they were like, hi. And he was like,
Yeah, it's so cool. I was like, that guy is present
Charge
in
it
his
up.
moment. Like, I feel like that's commitment. Love that.
Yeah.
I need to work on my self-confidence. So watch out, guys. I'm going to start like raving about myself
yeah.
shortly. And then obviously our house plans and renovations, farm life, getting some of that sorted again next year. We're cracking on with those renos. So
Cool.
Awesome.
Breaking Beige swimming pool.
Breaking Beige swimming pool,
swimming
Breaking
pool.
Beige pool house. We're doing it. So that's personal. What about you guys? What do you got?
Oh, I didn't really think about this.
What's
We had travel,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so the travel.
Health? You've done marathon. You've done all sorts of cool stuff. What have you
Yeah,
done there?
that was a
Do you
really
love
good
how I
goal.
had 0 health goals? Go to the gym. Not for me.
Stay my sexy self. Don't change
Stay
a thing.
wobbly.
Well, I guess I have I have recently joined Fitstop with Gina, and that's,
Can I just say Gina is
I know.
chef's kiss right
Asshole.
now.
Cat's asshole.
Cat's asshole right now.
Thank you.
So I
looking
guess
good,
like
girl.
you are.
You're looking real
yeah,
good.
you really are.
Thank you.
Do you want me to continue?
Do I keep
It's about Renee now. It's about Renee.
No, it's not. I mean, yeah, like I want to travel with my family. I'd like to do, and my sister said this the other day when we had a family get together, which is about once a week, said something about not getting gifts for each other for Christmas and birthday now and doing a family holiday instead.
Yes, we've talked about that.
You know,
Yeah.
like, so actually someone has to actively make that happen. And we've talked about like cruises and, you know, we catch up together all the time, but actually going and doing experiences together as extended family, which is about 25 of us. So,
That's spinny, bro.
Coordinating cats.
so that is like massive for me. Like, and then
cool.
just finding, which is constant, and I don't feel like it's ever going to fully sort itself out, but finding that balance
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's always evolving.
Sometimes I'm nailing it, and other days I'm rocking in a corner, not coping with life at all. And it's about that. What did you say? The invader? What are you talking about?
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then those kind of self doubts. All it takes is for one person to say something, and I'm like, oh, like at the moment, my manager for my salon has gone away to Europe for 6 weeks. So I'm stepping into the role of being on the floor more. So I'm in there every day at the moment. And just like things that have been said to me and feedback are like, oh, now you know what it's like to work full time. Ooh, that guts me to my soul.
It guts me when you.
I get really like, I'm
It's
like,
to you, 'cause
okay,
I'm like,
so
I see this woman. She is like on tap for this
Yeah.
business. You know,
Yeah.
you never stop.
no,
It's
no.
not like you're just sitting at home drinking cups of tea and watching The Bodyguard. It ain't, you know. But do you know?
I love The Bodyguard. Give me some Kevin Costner.
I know. So
Whitney
hot.
Houston, but you're like Kevin Costner. I love that.
And I
crush.
mean, look, that's just me. Like, don't like. That's just people sometimes just say something to have something to say. I don't think they're actually trying to like personally attack me or offend me. But I'm like, what
It's
do you
just
think
a little
I do
dig though, that's real unnecessary.
on the day to day? And like, yeah. But anyway, it's fine. And the thing is, when you're doing that, and I'm on the floor every day at the salon, like things around me like kind of start falling apart. Like my kids having sausages and bread for dinner, which is fine, but I wouldn't like that to happen every single night.
Yeah.
Sausage mom.
Yeah, so I don't have a balance at the moment. I'm like literally running on empty.
That surprises me that someone would say something like that to you about, oh, now you know how it feels. Because when you said that, you know, Emma was heading away, your manager was heading away, and you were into it for 5 weeks, which you already work as well. I was like, how the fuck are you going to do that? Because I know how much other stuff you have going on as well. Like
Yeah.
you also, you know, you do everything else in that business. You look after your kids. You coach sports teams.
You're on
You know
these
what I
different
mean?
boards, like
Man,
you're doing all this
You're-
stuff.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
exactly.
I didn't say that for you to like blow up my ass, but I'm enjoying it.
The G-string's doing that job, don't worry.
So I mean, yeah,
ass chat today.
it is. I love it. Yeah, so I'm not offended by it. And to be honest, I need to put across that I love being in the salon. Like I'm actually, if I didn't have all these other hats on and all these other things to organise, like when I'm in there, I am on and I love it. And I'm actually enjoying meeting clients that I don't get to see all the time. And they're like, and I do this funny thing. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you have to see me. Emma's away. And they're like, aren't you the owner? I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, come on through, because Emma's amazing. So I'm always just like, don't know if I can live up to her.
That's really nice.
You're both wonderful and incredible and
Emma is a
talented.
legend.
Those are some good personal
So
goals
yeah,
though,
I
working on.
got off topic there, but yeah, those are my goals. Balance.
Yeah.
Gina, personal goals?
This year's been a big, health and fitness push, I think. Cohen, turned 1 in January, and Sam and I sat down around a table. We had a 15-minute meeting, sent the kids off to Nana's house, and we're like, right, we're going to sit down and figure out, because I was in a funk. I was like, something's not working for me here. What do you need? What do I need?
Yeah.
So health and fitness was a really big big one. I was far more committed at the start of the year, so I was going a good 5 or 6 times a week. Now it's more like 3 if I can get there, but it's working okay for me. It gives me balance with work and kids and everything.
Awesome.
So
That's a good goal.
definitely health and fitness. Yeah, building a house when we get there. Still in the dreaming phases. And yeah, probably just trying to find a balance with everything too, and just the projects that I do have on the go, just putting my heart and soul into those.
Do them well.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Obviously, my children and my husband are one of those things too, for sure. Just finding some kind of balance and just keeping a happy, a happy life going. I'm pretty happy.
I also think it's okay to cruise.
Yes.
And not actually have specific goals.
Definitely.
Sometimes, when you're in the thick of it and you just can't
Oh, yeah. Like
just make the goal to have a shower that day. And feed yourself a decent meal. Go for a 5-minute walk. I think starting small and giving yourself the chance to achieve something no matter how small gives you that confidence to go after more.
Totally.
You know?
You got to
addictive.
be refreshed to have the energy to go again.
Like you can't set yourself up and say, I'm going to do 20 push-ups today. But if you're like, just do 2.
Yeah.
And then you do
Case
3.
like, what? A press
and then
up?
you do 3 and you're like, cool. Oh, well, I tick that off. So rather than setting the bar way too high to set yourself up to fail, just get stuff done. If you're a mum in the thick of it, make it a goal to have a shower. Like do something that makes you feel good.
This is one thing that drives me mental about my day is I never get something out for tea. I need an alert on my phone.
Do it the day
I'll
before.
set it up for you on your calendar that does exist in your phone.
We got some really cool, we put up a sticker box, well Gina did.
Yeah. So it was just saying that we're going to do this goals episode, and do you have any advice? How do you, rock your goals, or do you need some help? So I'll just run through some of the feedback. So one was have a plan, review it every day and every week, which is so valid. If you're looking at it, it's on your mind and it's in your subconscious.
Good to have a visual diary then.
Not just in your head.
Maybe we should make a breaking page diary for me.
Kylie said, love your podcast. You ladies rock. Real, raw and relatable. Thank you, Kylie.
Love you.
And then said how to stay consistent when juggling kids, family, life, etc. I'm always on the wagon and off the wagon.
I think that's life, eh?
Yeah, and be okay with it and don't feel
up,
guilty.
Yeah, just find something to be consistent with, even if it's a 5 or 10 minute walk or run, or something that makes you feel good. Yeah, I think we sometimes have these over ambitious ideas when we're trying to juggle all these things, but I think if you can just do something,
need to let that play out for a while, I reckon.
Definitely. Another lovely lady, Lizzie, new mum, baby's 11 weeks old.
Oof.
Yeah, trenches. But also beautiful.
Beautiful.
Like not being negative.
I wish I was her, but also
those snuggles, when they're that little. And she said, don't have any goals and feeling a bit lost.
Oh, honey,
Baby
we've
girl.
all been there. Don't stress.
Yeah, that is a tricky one. I think, there's a certain balance between wanting something for yourself when your babies are that tiny. And you do start to feel, I felt lost. I felt like, what am I working towards? Like, what am I, but I think there's a certain,
I think it's hard. Like people told me this and it's easier said than done. And now I'm on the other side because all my kids are at school, but there's something can just don't stress about that because they will all be like 18 and left home and you'll, have your time. Like just try and enjoy that 11-week-old. Like I honestly wish I had an 11-week-old right now. Like I would take Jax or any of the kids back to their age and wish that I, especially with Jax because I had the salon, had more of those just lay on the couch and had some snuggles.
Yeah.
But that's easy to say when you're on the other side of it, but really just try and enjoy that time because it goes so quickly.
Yeah,
just surrender.
I think the other thing is too, no one expects anything of you right now. At that stage that she's at, 11-week-old baby, just get through your day.
Yeah,
totally.
Nobody expects anything of you.
Yeah, except that little baby.
You have got
Focus
the
on the
biggest
baby.
job in the world. So your goal can be that when that baby turns 1, your goal is you start thinking about what you want.
Or you delegate and outsource help.
Yeah.
For the people who can help you feel good.
Yeah.
And then the last one, jotting down the plan for the next day before bed. I don't know what it is, but if it's not written down, it's a really good one.
Yeah,
just
cool.
making notes. Sometimes you can sleep better too when you write down your thoughts.
Yes.
If they're spinning around in that head, you know.
Yeah,
So,
get them out.
no, that's awesome. Well, I hope that, it's been a good episode.
Yeah, and that can help some people.
Yeah.
It's
Otherwise-
interesting to hear what your goals are, both personally and professionally too. That's quite cool for us. So, that.
Yeah,
It's great.
let us know your feedback.
Good on you, girls.
Awesome. High
Let's go
five
to
it.
the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Sammy.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Cohen.
And Colin. And Bubba.
Oh, he's so sweet. I'll take him. I'm going to Rumpelstiltskin that guy.
Oh, you're still smiling, my boy.
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and read it, you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop.